Our next input we're going to cover is Larry Williams cluster trades. A very interesting concept. Larry wrote in his books that there are certain patterns that will not repeat X number of times. Therefore, when we know this, we can predict where the price movement will be on the next day just because of the probabilities. For example, not very often will you find a trade where you'll get an up day in the market followed by 4 down days in the market, followed by an up day in the market by 4 down days in the market. 2 times in a row. That doesn't happen as often. This is just one example. Let's see it play out. Format signals. We'll go down to cluster trades here. In the print, if there's nothing inside this parentheses, means it's turned off. If you double click this, we're going to put our pattern in there. And it could be any number of patterns that could go in there. We have developed a pattern called Pattern Miner, which is a separate program apart from this that will analyze thousands of different patterns in the market and find out which ones tend to work well in clusters. So I would recommend our Pattern Miner program to find these. But this is just somewhat of a random example I pulled out to illustrate what can be done with this and how this can be a basis of a potential trading system. Here we go. Put your plus sign for an up day, and we're going to do 4 down days. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Now, we're going to want it to repeat. Larry Williams Cluster Entry Condition Series. How many times do we want it to repeat? It's got to repeat 2 times, according to this, in a row. There will be no spaces. It will be an up, down, 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 up, down, 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 down. That's the 2 we're looking for. But under this program, it enters on the prior close, meaning that we want to anticipate that the pattern will not repeat. In other words, we get an up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. Then we buy, knowing that we will probably not see that final down, as that pattern doesn't repeat itself twice very often. So it buys on the 3rd down, anticipation there will not be a 4th down day. This final cluster entry condition is you can use this to determine, is it based on the close, the open, the high, or the low. You just type in close, high, open, low, whatever you're looking for. In this particular case, we'll use close. Okay, now let's see how it performed. Doesn't happen very often, but as you can see, we had an up, 1, 2, 3, 4 downs, then an up, 1, 2, 3 downs. On the 3rd down, it bought, anticipating there will not be another down move again, in which it was correct. Same thing here. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up again, 1, 2, 3. Boom. What were the performance numbers? I'd say that's a pretty good equity curve. Performance, pattern only traded 8 times since 1993 in the SPY. So yeah, it's a very conservative pattern. You're not going to get a lot of trades, but it was 75% accurate. So here's a quick way to isolate trading patterns that don't occur very often to take advantage of a high probability move. Again, it didn't make a lot, but it's nice to see that. The point to this is the beginning of an interesting strategy based on pattern recognition. If you use this high probability pattern that's unlikely to repeat itself and combine that with leveraging your position on these rare events, you get some very powerful stuff, which we will show later on when we talk about that. All right, on to the next pattern and input.